Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our 35th installment of Tango Kilo Sierra. Today what I'm going to do is a little throwback video from that we never posted. It's been archived for a long time, just waiting for the right time to put it up. It's a really fun video. I figured that next to a busy road is what won the poll, and this one was right next to the interstate. And it's one I did with Good Buddy back when it was cold, right before I went solo. And I figured what better time to drop something like that than now. I'd also like to extend my condolences to Steve Wallace, the Camping with Steve guy. Your videos are an inspiration, man. I hope you can find it in your soul to and in your heart to get back to it and just keep stealthing, man. I can't imagine how hard it is to go through the tragedy that you're going through right now, and my heart and prayers goes out to you and yours, man. But thank you everyone that is tuned in, and enjoyed the video. Hello everyone, and welcome to our 12th installment of Tango Kilo Sierra. Today we got something real special for you. We are camping in an abandoned rest area, the ones from back in like the day where there was no running water or facilities to use. It was just a parking lot to stop, have a picnic, hit the tree line to take a whiz, and or change your kid, or get some sleep for the night because you're tired in between where you were going. As you can see, barricades are blocked off, so definitely a sketchy one that we're doing today. Could get caught, hopefully not. We're also behind these tanks over here. We'll walk over here and show you these tanks. These are pretty much liquid salt. It's what they use here in the South, mostly South Carolina, because our roads don't freeze. Our ground rarely freezes. So you can use more of like a salt and brine mix than actual road salt. As you can see, that one says brine. Lord only knows what that means, what kind of mixture that is. And this one here, if I ain't mistaken, says calcium chloride. So that's just pretty much the slurry that they throw on the road when we have the very rare ice storm and or snow here. Thing is, I haven't seen snow in a pretty long time here in South Carolina, so we should be good. But we got some delicious food for you. We're gonna get some things set up, have us a couple of beers, taste the mountains a little bit. Genuinely enjoy just being here next to the interstate. Come with us. So this is a little abandoned rest stop on 520 out here in dang near Batesburg, Leesville, South Carolina. See how close we are to the interstate? Right behind those salt barrels like we showed you before, the road salt barrels. That's where we'll be camping tonight. So just to give you a little general sense of how close we are to the interstate. Can't nobody come plowing through these trees and get us, but at the same time, should make for a little bit of a noisy night until traffic calms down. But should be fun, and I think this is generally just going to be a good area. We done found us a good camping area. We'll show you that on the next clip when we get done setting up camp. Alright, got a track trailer going by. You gotta expect that next to the interstate. As you can see behind me, there's a frontage road that runs right behind us. Just goes to show how stealthy we have to be on this camp to keep from being seen from this frontage road and mostly the interstate. So, as we showed you, the interstate's right over there. And what we're going to show you now is where we're going to set up our tent for tonight. It's supposed to rain in the morning, so that ought to be fun. But thankfully, for this little camp here, we have our new little friend here, our little buddy, our Mr. Buddy heater. This right here, I've seen on many of other videos on YouTube where it's been keeping people warm in sub-zero temperatures. He should keep the temp warm. Probably have to cut it off throughout the night, but instead of a campfire, this is a great alternative when you are camping out next to somewhere that you can easily be seen with a fire. So, very thankful for this. It should work out just fine. Alright, well, while we're having this beer, I'd like to take this time to thank a couple of y'all, because y'all are always commenting on pretty much each and every one of our videos, and just giving us your feedback, which is very well appreciated, and we love it. We love responding and reading all the awesome stories you guys have to tell. First person, I'd like to thank Mr. P. DeWitt. He was actually our first donator and helped us get our Mr. Buddy heater here. Then I'd also like to thank Captain Graff. That dude also donated and helped us afford our Mr. Buddy heater. Just to name a couple other names, RJ DCR, thank you for always commenting and having something awesome to say. Stealth Camper, we love your input, man, and always having support things to say. Ghost Patriot, thank you for always commenting and having great things to say. And Rob Lane. All of those are just a couple of people that have pretty much been with us since the beginning, all 12 videos. We also would like to take this time to ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and share our videos with your friends because it really helps us out. Thank you guys. This beer's for y'all. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned before, this is our Mr. Buddy heater. It's going to keep us warm tonight in the 40-degree temperature that it's supposed to be, which is, for us southern boys, pretty cool. But I'm going to teach you how to work this thing. So as you can see, there's a flexible little nozzle holder. Screw that in there. Make sure you don't cross thread it. Make sure you get it nice and hand tight. Don't over tighten. This also can be used for a big tank. I've got the adapter and stuff for it, but I didn't figure we'd need the big tank tonight. Turn it to pilot. Click it. See how it's on? You got to hold it for a few seconds. Right there you see the little flame. Now the flame is on continuously. As you can see, it's starting to produce heat. This little grate right here will get hot. It's starting to produce mad heat. That's super, super hot. And that's just on the low setting. See what happens when we go up a little bit. That's halfway. As you can see, the heat radiating off of this should keep our tent mighty freaking warm tonight. And when it's dark, you'll be able to see this grate in the middle here, not this grate, but the little white grate, turn bright orange. This little flame here, as long as it's blue, you know there's no obstructions in it, and you know that it's heating the heater up the way that it's supposed to. We're going to turn that back down to low. This is burning my face a little bit, it's putting out so much heat. But that is absolutely incredible. And as it gets colder, closer we get to January, February, and in March, halfway through there, it'll start to warm up. This right here is going to come in big handy for us. Because I've seen people cook on this thing. I've seen a lot of things as far as Mr. Buddy heaters go, so they really speak for themselves. Then to turn it off, you just flick it all the way over. Make sure your pilot light goes out. Let it cool off before you store it. And you should be able to stay pretty warm. I got a good deal on this because of Black Friday deals going on. It was only $75. These are usually around $82 after taxes. I only ended up paying about $75 for it. So that was a godsend. You never want to store these with the tank on it. Always take your tank off because it could cause, it could leak and many other things. Will it? Probably not, because this is an indoor heater. This specifically says it's meant for indoor use. We're going to be using it indoors technically tonight, but not technically indoors. So that is awesome, and very thankful to have it on our side now. So, back there, where those tanks are that we showed you before, is where we're camping. Starting to cool off pretty well because the sun's starting to go down. It's starting to get a little dark. But we want to show you the other direction of the interstate. There was somebody there when we pulled up, so let's hope that they're not there. But camping area will be just on the other side of those trees whenever we finally set it up. So, interstate right there. We go out on the road this way a little bit. You're able to see down towards the interstate right there. As you can see down there, something was on fire. See that big black spot right there? Probably a car or, could have been anything really. Most likely a car though. But can't see our camp if you look back down the bend of the road, which is really good. And yeah, pretty dang cool. So right there is, you can see, there's grains of salt that is hanging out the end of that pipe there. That is from the little concoction that they mix up in these barrels for de-icing the roads and or making the roads nice and track where you can gain traction on it easily by putting this little slurry of salt water and brine down onto the interstate roads, because there's a lot of bridges that have underpass, like they're overpass bridges that go over like little frontage roads and back roads, and those, because of the sandwich of cold and also rain and whatnot, it'll make that bridge ice real bad. The last place you want people to lose traction is on a bridge. So I'm sure that's pretty much what this is for, which is still pretty cool. And it never really gets cold enough here for that, but I'm glad that we have it on standby. So, as you can hear, big trucks coming by. It's starting to get dark enough where everybody's headlights are on, which is freaking me out a little bit because I keep on thinking somebody's coming down the road. But we're going to be just fine back here. Give it about another half hour, and we're going to get camp set up. We've got the same tent that we camped in last time. We're going to pretty much have about the same setup, but we've got the Mr. Buddy heater this time. So that's going to take place of our fire and keep us warm while we just chill out and have a couple more beers and cook our food and then ultimately get some sleep. Alright, so we got our tent set up on the other side of these barrels. You can see it's starting to get dark. Yeah, I can't really see it even with the light on, so somebody'd have to really be shining their light back up in here to see our camo tarp that we put over this side of our tent. We've also got some camo netting draped over the back to help with light pollution. We're going to walk around the corner here. So right now, I'm staring at the back of my tent, but it's impossible to see unless you're shining a super bright light back up in there. So I'm going to take you over here and show you what it looks like up close, so you can see what our setup is going to be for tonight. There she is. Couldn't see it until I turned the corner. Got camo netting to help with the mask for our cooking segment when we've got the light here. Our camouflage tarp for when it rains in the morning, not only, but also for masks from that road, because you never know. There could be a cop riding back here, people just looking to get off the road for the night, because you can easily access it with a vehicle. There's just barricades set up. You can drive around. So, yeah. Other than off the front here, there's nobody should be coming from that direction anyway, because the interstate's going, I'm pretty sure it's south. So we wouldn't have there would be no way that nobody could come that way. So I'm not really worried about the front here, but I think we got it pretty well masked. Those lights keep on messing with me because you can see through the bottom part of those trees. It looks like people are coming down that road. And the whole time they're just going down the interstate. But we're going to get our camp set up in here. We'll see once we get done with that. Take our gear to get sleep back here. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, we got our camp set up, as you can see. Good Buddy's on that side, and his rain jacket's ready to go. I'm on this side, my rain jacket's ready to go. Mr. Buddy is the centerpiece of our setup here. He's going to do great, and our gear is all set up right behind us, so it can stay dry also. So, looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think it's going to be a great night, very fun. Going to cook some delicious food for you. Sit here and have a couple more of these liqueurs and enjoy our night out here next to I-20. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it's starting to get a little cold out here. Not too overly cold, but cold enough to want to get in here and fire this little guy up and just see what it can do in this tent. Because I'm pretty excited about it. See the pilot lid? It says in the instructions you want to hold it for a little while. And then we're going to push down and turn to low. See it flame up there? We'll make sure it's clear of any obstructions, because I'm pretty sure it breathes in through the bottom here, and it puts out the heat out the top and the front. So you want to make sure there's nothing within the ord. I can't feel the tent getting too warm, but you can really feel the heat rising. So we've got our vents here and out the side, because this is an indoor heater, but they're known for putting out carbon monoxide. So anytime using this in a small confined space like this, I'd really recommend to use a carbon monoxide detector. We've got one that we're going to break out when we go to bed, just in case that anything gets crazy. But for right now, you can see that little pad heating up. It's putting out some great heat too, and that's just on the low setting here. Yeah, it's going to warm the tent up nice here in about 5 minutes. And again, pat it on for about a minute and a half, and the tarps, the top of the tent isn't getting too warm. You want to really make sure of that, because gangster don't want to be woken up in the middle of the night with hot dripping tent. Yeah, because this stuff is wildly flammable if you're not careful. But that's working perfect. We got our vents, and we're gonna let her do her magic, and then we'll have a couple more beers and just hang out in the tent and stay warm.
You're driving off.
Very good. That was scary. Had our first person pull up off the side of the interstate. Must have been looking for directions or something, but you never can be too sure. We were sitting right here on the edge of the road, watching the cars go by, because there's nothing much more to do. And I noticed that somebody pulled up over there just right off the interstate. Thankfully, no issues. It wasn't the police, and we should be able to resume our camp as we were. All right, ladies and gentlemen, seeing how we're Christmas themed here, we got our Santa hat. Next week we'll have some lights and whatnot for the festivities for you. Of course, like I told you, we're gonna keep the Christmas Debbie cakes on the menu until the end of the season, because they're just too good not to. We also got this that I've been wanting to showcase for a while, that our buddy Joe, that you met in the video with the big bonfire, gave us for our Thanksgiving video. Sportsman's Warehouse, where he works. But pretty much what it is it's a little sleeping bag koozie. Put you a tall boy in there, or I don't know, like a glass bottle. And this also flips down, so the little headpiece is out the way. And then has a carabiner for carrying, and a lighter pouch on the back. It's pretty cool. We've got our Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart lighter, which is pretty awesome. Thank you, Joe. We appreciate that, buddy. That's gonna come in very much handy come the future videos. Pork skins that we're gonna be snacking on. So cheesy cheddar rotini pasta in a creamy cheese sauce, and that calls for a cup and a half of water, 2 cups of milk, and a tablespoon of margarine. We have all of those things, which is really good. Break out our handy dandy pot. Also, I'm gonna put some chicken chunks in that. I know everybody was telling me last week about how they wish I would have used that can opener in a different way, but you live and you learn, and one of my ways of learning is to get the can opener built in. Our little butter box got a little wet here. That's okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put what it calls for, which is a cup and a half of water, and if I'm not mistaken, that's a whole bottle of water. And of course, after it made its appearance last week, we've got our little mixing spoon here. Alright, so this says a half a cup, so we're probably going to add like maybe a quarter of this milk to our little solution here. It's about a quarter of that milk, as you can see in the light. Maybe a little bit more, just to add a little sauce onto it. Alright, it says 1 tablespoon of butter. Alright, so this little serving spoon here is probably a little bit less than a tablespoon, but we'll put that in there, and then maybe another little shaving just to be on point with it. You can never have too much butter. I'll take this, we'll balance it right on top of the way it goes. Let it get nice and warm. And it says, add the contents of the package to the solution and stir until it boils. So that's what we're going to end up doing. Pasta ready, and pour it in. Hopefully this don't turn out too soupy. If it does, I'll take full credit for it. Seeing how I don't have proper measuring things, I really can only do what we can do. As you can see, the butter is starting to melt. Just gotta make sure that our noodles don't stick to the bottom. So we're gonna add some of our seasoning that has the salt in it that we would like, to make sure our noodles don't stick to the bottom of the pan. We'll only add a little bit until we get our chicken chunks in there, but that should aid in our process of our noodles not sticking to the bottom of our pot. So we're just going to keep stirring and letting it do what it does, let these noodles hydrate. Hopefully we didn't put too much water in this, but if it turns out soupy, hopefully some of our chicken chunks will soak that up. You can see the butter on the top and the cheese is smelling great. I wish you guys could smell this through the camera. It smells amazing. It's going to taste amazing, I bet. Something nice and warm to have out here next to the interstate. So we're going to get our chicken chunks here. And we're going to add it to our little boiling pot we got. We don't need no more water. So we're going to dump the water in this thing out. Smells pretty good. Break up the chicken chunks a bit. Turn the fire back on this. It's boiling pretty decent. Got our noodles looking great. Add it to our little mixture here. Came out pretty good. Got all of our chicken chunks out of there. Now, we just mix them in to our already super duper warm pasta soup that I cooked. I think I added a little bit too much water to this, but it should still be delicious, and the pasta should still be great. Got some regular paper plates here. Double down on those, just because of the fact that we got somewhat of a little soup going on here. We don't want it to leak through any of the first layer of paper plate. We got our seasoning, of course. That's salt and pepper, garlic. We'll add that to the top of our pasta as we see fit, if we so choose. It soaked it up pretty good, that chicken chunks did. It's starting to warm up pretty good. You can see the steam coming off of it. Just anything that goes from dead cold, you want to make sure that it takes enough time over the eye to warm up with its surroundings. But still looks delicious, smells delicious. Get this over here. Give Good Buddy his fork. I got some chicken on it on accident, sorry about that. We just feed it onto the plate here. Try not to get too much of that soupness on his plate. Says I don't think it was meant to be soupy. Maybe it was, who knows. I think I just accidentally made it soupy. But you live and you learn. I'm gonna take a first bite. That's really delicious. Still really hot, but really delicious. Oh yeah. Be a good dinner tonight. Nice and warm, nice and cheesy. Got some chicken in there because it didn't come with the meat. Oh yeah, we'll be eating good. We'll see y'all guys right before we go to bed. Dinner downtown's really good too. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. That one's good. One on number 6 is decent. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Got his hat on, just like I do. Open this up. Good one to old Good Buddy here. One for my chubby self. Pop them open and enjoy in the festivities of Christmas. Enjoying the festivities, buddy. Delicious as always.
Ready?
Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a pretty quiet night, other than the cars still going by, obviously, and having nobody coming back here. Had a couple people stop on the side of the road and scare us a little bit, but nothing we can't handle. We're going to turn in, get some sleep, go back to what we do normally, and we'll see you guys in the morning.
here. It's pouring rain on us. Mr. Buddy Heater did great. I was able to kick my sling bag off and just use my fleece blanket here. We're going to get everything packed up and get it ready to go. Get it waterproof so it doesn't get drenched. And we'll see how it finishes on.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, camping next to Interstate was a success. It's a little cold and a little wet, but nothing we didn't prepare for. We're going to go back to doing what we do normally. This is a great sleep, and I mean really, we had to stay stealthy just to keep down from the interstate, but really great night. So we'll find another great place. See you next time.